What's up, guys? Xeno Gaming back here for the 6th episode of my 2018 Formula 1 career mode. Here today we are at the Canadian Grand Prix for the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. As you can see here, we've had some new parts come for the car, reliability and performance upgrades, so we're looking to take a step forward for this weekend at the Canadian Grand Prix, hopefully improving the car. As you can see, we've now jumped ahead of Toro Rosso and are moving closer to McLaren in the performance graphs. Overall, Mercedes still have a nice lead over Ferrari and Red Bull, who are pretty close. But now we'll give it to David Croft for practice.
Here we are, live in Montreal at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where the teams are making final preparations before today's practice session gets underway. In 1999, the outside track wall, situated on the last corner of the lap, ended the race of three Formula 1 world champions, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. Since then, the wall has come to be known to fans around the world as the infamous Wall of Champions.
Turns 13 and 14 are definitely the most demanding corners on the track. A quick chicane section, entering at over 180 miles per hour, drivers use plenty of curb and get very close to the wall. But hitting those curbs at the wrong angle can easily put the car offline. You'll see a lot of drivers bail out of committing into turn 13, using the escape road to avoid contact with the wall.
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
So yes, we did get some upgrades for the car. I can't really remember at this stage while I'm commentating this video what exactly they were. I believe it was oh yeah, now I remember. It's just the two parts that we fixed from the last episode, which were the one to the power unit and one to the
Great workout there today. How do you think it went?
aerodynamics. Interview with Claire after all the practice sessions,
focusing on research and development this season.
giving us questions about the development, and you got to answer these questions to the area of department that you think lacks with the morale and stuff.
Qualifying?
Yeah, what she means by that is because it was raining during the practice sessions, fully wet conditions, wet tyres, and it was quite tricky to drive.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Man,
Great. Well, that's everything.
So yep, thank you Claire for that. And we'll give it back to Crofty for qualifying introduction.
Hello and welcome from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix, for today's qualifying session. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
Welcome to the qualifying for the 2018 Canadian Grand Prix. Now here is Romano on his first run on the ultra soft tyre. Not deciding to start with the ultra soft tyre instead of the quicker hyper soft tyre. And here we go, hitting the chicane very nicely to end the lap. Clean first lap on the ultra soft tyre. Romano comes across to set a 1 minute 10.433. A good first lap from Romano on the ultra soft, which is a competitive time. But this is that was the first lap of his second run. Here's the start of his second lap on his hot lap. Here we go through turn 1. Cut the corner a little bit, but hits the apex for turn 2 as well. Gets the nose in nicely. Here we go on the exit. Romano loses the back end into the wall, and he's crashed out here in Q1 of qualifying. So the 1 minute 10.4 actually put us P15. So that will be 15th on the grid. Gasly, Van Dorn, Hartley, Stroll, and Sorokin all knocked out. But that was the end of our qualifying session. Really unfortunate mistake there. Just spun the rear wheels up, losing grip. And now here's David Croft for the race introduction.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history. Could be the cause of a safety car today. So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Vettel, Nico Hülkenberg, and Verstappen, Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez, and Kevin Magnussen, Ocon, Alonso, Romain Grosjean, and Leclerc. The captain, Gasly, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Brendan Hartley. Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
This is a really good starting position for us. Let's try not to lose it.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome to the 2018 Canadian Grand Prix here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Today here for Chris Romano, it is a one-stop strategy, starting on the ultra soft tyre and going to the super soft tyre as we now gear up for the start of the Grand Prix from 15th place on the grid. Not the best qualifying session because we put it on the wall hoping to make up for any lost time or gain positions we could have had maybe in qualifying, but to be fair, wouldn't have been that many. Anyway, 5 red lights as we gear up for this Canadian Grand Prix. And let's go for the 2018 Canadian Grand Prix. Good start for Leclerc. Also another good start for Romano. Grosjean a bit slow off the line. Romano dives down the inside alongside Fernando Alonso here into turn 1. Trying to stick it around the outside for turn 2. Can he go around the outside? He can't. And Alonso will hold on to 12th place. Leclerc now on the inside of Romano. And he could be back to 14th for Romano, but he's able to go around the outside of his teammate and hold on to 13th place. So already 2 spots made up on the first sector for Romano as he goes down the inside of a very slow moving Alonso, stuck behind the other cars, and he makes it work for him. And now Romano moves past Fernando Alonso. Will he fight back into the chicane? He's not quite close enough, so Romano, who's now up to P12, so 3 places gained on the opening lap, continuously finding places on the opening lap, kind of becoming something quite easy for him over the course of his rookie season, as he has a look at Ocon into the hairpin.
Alright, well done off the line. We're in a good position.
Thanks, Jeff. And isn't able to make that one stick on Ocon. He's in the slipstream, overtake use on the DRS, but he's not actually pulling any closer to the Force India driver. So we'll just have to slot in for now into P12 on the opening lap as Hamilton sets blistering pace. Look at the front 4 have already taken off. Mercedes showing their true performance pace on the graph, and Hamilton finally has a chance to win some Grand Prix this year. Mercedes have yet to win a Grand
Nice
Prix
work,
as
that
a
brings
team.
you up a place.
Thanks, Jeff. As a team yet, as a Ferrari and Renault are the only team to have won a race so far in the first 6 rounds this year. As Romano setting good pace, but he gets a poor run through here. You can see struggling with the understeer of the car, not able to get the power down as early as he'd like. Now Alonso has had a brilliant run out of the corner. Fernando Alonso down the inside of Chris Romano, but Romano is able to hold it around the outside. Will Alonso be able to fight back into the hairpin? He's lost a bit of time battling with Romano there, and Romano just holds on to P12 for now. And now he's looking to build a gap over Fernando Alonso, the Spaniard, the 2-time double world champion. And now we move on to lap 4. As you can see, Romano is caught up to Ocon, gained a 2.6 second lead over Alonso, who's actually fallen into the clutches of his teammate Charles Leclerc. But here we go, we'll go down the inside of Ocon here, very late move. But Ocon
Gap
doesn't
to
give up,
teammate
he
behind
fights it, and
is
he's actually made contact with
2.7
Romano.
seconds.
Romano's hit the ball and he's
Your front wing is damaged. Expect a
Damaged
lot of
the front
understeer
wing.
unless we replace it.
So Romano's really struggling with the understeer of the car, and now that's going to have to force him
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
into an early pit stop, and here comes Alonso. Alonso not quite able to make the move into the chicane, but now at the end of the lap, Romano into the pits for a new front ring and a change of strategy. Really unfortunate for Chris Romano, who's had a chance to score some decent points today. That opportunity may be lost with now having to change the front wing of the car. Very costly situation. Ocon just wouldn't give up on the position, and guys, let me know
Go
whose
now.
fault you think that accident was, if it was mine or Esteban's, but Esteban has put us in the wall, and here's the first flying lap out of the pits. Romano not happy, and he sets a 1 minute 11.4 fastest lap of the race so far. Really trying to press on here. Now by the time it's lap 9, start of lap 10 now, some drivers coming out of the pits, including Max Verstappen, so I'm not sure what's happened to him, as we come out just have Hulkenberg ahead and Verstappen behind of us. So not sure what's happened to Max Verstappen to be behind the Renault of Hulkenberg and in this midfield pack, but he is in this midfield pack as Romano continues to set decent pace, but the tyres are starting to go away from him now. He's been on for 6 laps already and will need to make another pit stop to go into the super soft tyres. But here comes Verstappen, he's on fresh tyres, he's looking to make amends of his poor race so far, but he's not able to go around the outside of Romano. Defended nicely there by Chris, and now Verstappen will have a look into the hairpin, but he's not quite close enough, and there's a big train ahead because the Williams cars are yet to make their first pit stop, and the drivers ahead are looking to capitalise, but Verstappen now in the slipstream with DRS. He's looking to make a move into the last chicane, as Verstappen not quite close enough. As now there's a bit of congestion up ahead, and Romano might have an opportunity to overtake both the Renaults as they're battling each other really hard. Into
We're
turn
trailing
one,
our teammate
Hulkenberg
by
goes for it on signs. Romano has a look down the
12.1
inside, a bit of
seconds.
contact there, but nothing doing. Tries to go around the outside of the two Renaults, that's not going to work. And now Verstappen smartly has gone down the inside of Romano while he gave him the opportunity. Verstappen doesn't need a second invitation, and he takes the position of Chris
Okay,
Romano.
keep on him. He might make a mistake.
And not ideal there for Romano, as he needs he needs all the track position now. He's just looks like he's really struggling with the tyre. As look at the gap that the Renaults and Verstappen have already pulled on him, and Ocon, the man that put us in the wall before, has now caught us. So this is not ideal. It's quite a big train. The Williams cars are really slow at this stage of the race, and the Renaults need to get by quickly. As you see, Sainz going around the outside of Stroll, and there, Romano's driven into the back of Verstappen. Just a
Be
poor
careful
mistake.
with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage.
Needed to realise how quickly or how slowly Verstappen was going through that corner. He's cost himself a bit of end plate damage, so he might lose a couple of tenths or here per lap now, but it's not worth pitting just yet, and he's got Ocon behind him. But here we go, into the first corner, DRS for Romano. Can he have anything come of this? No, Verstappen's going to have a look at
Okay,
Hulkenberg.
take
maybe,
it easy
but
on the car.
No,
We
Romano
can't
with the big
sustain
dive
this
on
level of damage.
Not only Verstappen but Hulkenberg, but a bit of contact there, almost spins the car, and but he has got past the Red Bull driver, who won't be happy. But Verstappen's not going to give up. Gets much better drive off the corner, and here goes Romano trying to go around the outside. Verstappen almost spins Hulkenberg, and then pretty like a touring car race right now. Contact there is once again a bit more contact there on the run to turn 5, I believe, and more contact with Verstappen, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins this battle. DRS for both drivers now into the run to chicane. Slipstream for Romano. Ocon around the outside having a look, but Romano goes down the inside of Verstappen, cuts him off, and that will be job done for now for Chris Romano. But Ocon now getting a great run for using the slipstream of Romano. Can he go down the inside of Max Verstappen into the hairpin? Not quite, but Romano squeezes Verstappen out. But Ocon now does take position on the exit of the corner, and Verstappen's now just lost 2 places on this lap. The Dutchman will not be happy at all. This is great intense battling between the midfield
Okay,
drivers
we
here.
need some energy harvesting. Reduce ERS deployment.
And Hulkenberg and Sainz goes, sorry, not Sainz, Stroll goes side by side through the last chicane. Stroll gets a horrible exit
We're
out of the
approaching
last
the pit
corner.
window. You'll be on the super
And that's
softs.
P17 for Romano. You believe all this battling for P17 at the minute? Unbelievable. It's now lap 13, so Romano is going to be starting to think about a pit stop as Hulkenberg is ranging up to the back of Sergei Sorokin and Brendan Hartley as well, who have all yet to make their first pit stop and are struggling with their tyres. And Hulkenberg gets a much better exit off the chicane, and he's looking to go around the outside of Sergei, and he makes it stick here. Romano looks to take advantage. Oh, but he's been
You've got front wing damage. Recommend
He's
you
been
box for a
checked
new
up by
one.
Sorokin,
Check
and
your
he's
MFD
broken
for
the
a
front
new
wing.
strategy option.
And not ideal for Chris Romano here for his race. And
Nice.
buddy Jeff keeps interrupting us.
Copy.
So now he's going to have to come
Okay,
back
we
into
can
the
take you
pits
this lap.
to replace the front wing again. So Romano not having a strong afternoon here at the Canadian Grand Prix. It's been a horrible weekend for him so far. A crash in qualifying. He's had contact with Ocon, contact with Sorokin and Verstappen. It's been all over the place for the rookie driver. We're really learning it the hard way this weekend in Montreal as he comes in for his second pit stop and second change of front wing. Now onto the super soft tyres to hopefully go to the end of the race, but chance of points that look all but gone. Maybe still had an opportunity, but now it looks all but gone. And now we're on to the start of lap 16 as the first car comes into the pits, and that is Lance Stroll, the Canadian driver at his home race. Next lap, two more drivers, Sorokin and Hartley, are in the pits. And now the goal for Romano is to just chase down Stoffel Van Dorn for 16th. But here on lap 19, Romano coming into turn 3 has a spin. Romano has spun the car, and now he's going to have to spin the car again. But here comes Hartley, and Hartley is absolutely not taking evasive action and is steamrolled into Chris Romano, and Romano is out of the Grand Prix. So Hartley, just look at this. Oh, he had nowhere to go, Brendan Hartley. The New Zealander, he's going to need a new front wing. But that is race over for Chris Romano.
A great win then for the Maranello team
And now
today.
your winner of the Canadian Grand Prix is Kimi Räikkönen.
Davidson, give me your thoughts.
So he has beaten his teammate and the two Mercedes drivers here. And really unfortunate for Romano to spin. Now, I will say I did. The reason I did spin was because I put maybe a millimetre of my tyre, my front left tyre on the grass, and as soon as I turned in, the car went around on me, and before I had a chance to even spin the car around, Hartley came steamrolling through turn 3 and 4, and the AI do not take evasive action, which is really unfortunate for me and for Brendan as well, because now we are out of the race. We score no points, and so yeah, that was the Canadian Grand Prix. Räikkönen won, Hamilton second, and Bottas third. So Räikkönen pulled off some worldie of a strategy. I'm not sure how he's done that.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Kimi Räikkönen takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent
And
result.
now with that
Moving
result,
on to the
Räikkönen has won
driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who would
he's
you
taken
go
the lead of
for?
the Drivers'
Well, I think it has
Championship,
to be
and
Fernando Alonso. He got the strategy
it's
spot on, consistently
really
had the
unfortunate for the
pace
Sauber
come through
driver
as
in
well.
Romano. His teammate Charles Leclerc has not fared any better, only finishing 14th, but really difficult race, difficult weekend for Romano. Crashing in qualifying and in the race. Really unfortunate for him, but here's their championship standings. You can see Räikkönen's got now a 6-point lead, and they've got a 36-point lead back to Lewis Hamilton. So the Ferraris have dominated the first 7 races so far, but now Mercedes, they have got the better package, and they'll be looking to improve. Here you can see after the race we just make more improvements to the durability, because we don't get many components, and I hate taking grid penalties because I just don't like it. It's not something I want to be doing, so try and just improve the durability as much as possible to hopefully ensure I don't get grid penalties in future seasons while racing for Sauber. Also looking at a few aero upgrades, maybe a chassis upgrade, but I do believe I ended up going with it. I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure I'll go with the rear wing upgrade here on the the front wing cascades element. I'll go with here to improve the aerodynamics of the car, because that is where Sauber lacks the most, is aerodynamics. As you can see, we are last of every single team, so it would help to improve aero, to improve our high speed through the corners, because the chassis is not bad. It's like only third worst. The engine's obviously the best component of the car, but the chassis is still pretty much on the tail of the midfield teams, whereas the aero is plumb last, and we're close with Williams, but us and Williams are quite a fair way off the rest of the grid, so hopefully that will work. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in France. Goodbye.